Hello, I'm Gary Lawrence, and I'm so glad you joined me for this brief video on attitude development. And as I shared in my first video, Wallace D. Wattles, in his book, The Science of Growing Rich, he makes the statement that everything we think inwardly is going to impact our outward actions and our outward relationships with other people. And one of the first attitudes that I think is so important to have is an attitude of a positive self image. You know, the scripture says that one of the first things we should do is love the Lord our God with all our heart, all of our soul, and all of our mind. This is the first and great commandment. And second, namely, this is the second one, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, stop and think about that for a minute. Love your neighbor as yourself. What's the Lord really saying here? He's saying if you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor. The bottom line is, if you don't accept yourself unconditionally as God does, then you're going to reject yourself in your relationships with other people. And what you think about yourself is going to impact your career, it's going to impact your marriage relationship, it's going to impact your relationship with your children, and definitely it's going to impact in a negative way your relationship with other people. Now, you may say, well, Dr. G, I have a lot of critical people in my environment. Have you ever considered changing your circle of friends? You know, most people have a negative self image simply because they believe what other people say about them. Now, I've had people say, well, I'm too fat. Well, compared to what? Or I'm too skinny. Compared to what? Well, I'm not educated. Compared to what? I mean, you stop and think of some of the people that have made millions and millions of dollars and they didn't have a formal education. It's because they believed in themselves. And when you believe in yourself, you project that conviction in your relationships with other people. I say it like this: when someone's critical of you, don't defend yourself. Now, here's why: your enemies won't believe it, and your friends don't need it. When other people say, well, I want to give you my opinion of what I think about you, don't receive that false guilt. You know what false guilt is? False guilt is an anxiety created from a fear of being rejected for a lack of performance. You're always going to have somebody that doesn't like something about you. But the real key issue here is, what do you believe about yourself? And here again, one of my sayings is this: the arrows of others' opinions cannot pierce the armor of a positive self image. Learn how to accept yourself unconditionally. Stop comparing yourself with other people and be at peace with yourself. I'm so glad you joined me today. And the next video I think you're going to enjoy as well. Have a great day.